Like James Harden is just not on that level at all just because he made to the finals. Come on now. Come on. That don't make sense. But with James Harden, we're just going to kill his entire career just because he kept losing to the Golden State Warriors. AI was barely making it out the first round. If we really want to talk about it and really want to get nasty, he was barely making it out the first round year in, year out. I did not think, if you would have asked me this a year ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, that I was going to be doing a video on James Harden, I guess too much disrespect, I would have said you was crazy. But things change, man. Yeah, James Harden, man. In my lifetime, I think I've been very unfair to him. Yeah, I think we got to talk about him because James Harden really, it's weird. Like, James Harden is one of the craziest players we've seen. And I don't think people really give him that much respect, right? Like, you had a guy that was literally averaging, 35 on 8? Like, the guy can almost give you 40 on one night. And at the same time, bro, he's probably dropping like 9-10 assists. Like, every night. Every single night. When Russ was averaging his triple doubles, you want to know who was right there with him? Bro, James Harden was right there with him year in and year out, bro. Like, he wasn't getting a triple double, but he was like 30, 39, and 8. He wasn't getting the rebounds like that. He was like 39 and 7. My bad, not 8. 39 and 7, bro. And, it's like, bro, James Harden was something special, bro. James Harden was really something special, bro. And I don't think too many people really talk about it enough. And especially where people rank him all time, I think James Harden is one of those players that gets criticized way too much for like losing in the playoffs and like never winning a ring. It's weird. And even in some conversations with Allen Iverson, I've heard Allen Iverson conversations with James Harden. I guess we'll start off with that. Like, the AI and James Harden combos, I think now from speaking on it, if I'm going to be completely honest and objective here, as best as I could possibly be in like these types of scenarios, like James Harden and AI, it's like, to me, they're right there with each other. But honestly, if you're going to ask me, I mean, a guy who, listen, James is a guy who can literally, on all three levels, like, he breaks the game too. James Harden also breaks the game with his ability to score. The issue with James Harden that really hurts him in the postseason is that it's very redundant. Where I think Gilbert Arenas actually said this in his podcast, and I actually agreed. Where, when you're attacking from on top of the key, and this isn't even just his fault. This is like coaching and everything. But when you're attacking on top of the key and just you're just having one guy work and he's doing this. James Harden literally spamming the same things over and over again. You know what's coming. He's not taking the mid range. They're guarding him from behind. That's literally what they did. And think about that. Like, in order to guard James Harden, it wasn't you stay in front of him. You stay on his hip to the back so he doesn't do a step back. That's how crazy James Harden was. James Harden was a guy where literally it was not correct of you to sit here and guard him up front. You had to sit here and literally stand behind him and make sure he don't step back because he's not taking the mid-range. So that's like James Harden's fault too. Because you're not taking the mid-range, but also that's coaching because Mike D'Antoni don't want to take a mid-range. So what are we doing? Weird. All right. So you stand behind him and force him into the double team. And then you just, you send the help and then recover. Help and recover. It's very, very, it's more easier to help and recover in scenarios like that. It really is. It's very easy where you just got one guy driving and kicking or heavy isolation. And then all you have to do is help and recover. You're really doing a defensive favor when you're attacking like that, in my opinion. So that's not solely on James Harden, in my opinion. That's really coaching and all of that. When we look at the talent and what he brings, I mean, dog, like, when we go back to the Allen Iverson and AI combo, when you have a guy that can, like, he's one of the best three-point shooters ever too. And people don't give him that credit either. Like, to me, James Harden doesn't get enough credit for being one of the best three-point shooters in NBA history. He's top 10 without a doubt. When you're shooting off platform like that, when you're shooting in the variety of different ways like he's shooting, and even the distance that he's shooting from as well, and he does it at a high clip. James Harden, without a doubt, to me, is probably a top 10 three-point shooter in NBA history, shooter in general. So he doesn't get credit for that. And that's something Allen Iverson didn't really have to his game like that. AI was a good a solid mid-range shooter, but the three-point shooting wasn't there. Mid-range shooting was good. AI is one of the best finishers in NBA history as well. I solely believe that. One of the best finishers we've ever seen. I think he's a better finisher than James Harden too. But James Harden is still a great finisher. So James Harden, great finisher, great ball handler. He's a better passer and facilitator than Allen Iverson too. And he's a bigger body, so you have a bigger body, better passer, better facilitator, better shooter. And when we're talking about scoring, AI is a great scorer too. But it's like they're right there with each other. I think James Harden just gets a slight edge over it just because of variety. So you got a guy who's arguably a better scorer, hands down better passer facilitator, with a bigger frame. I mean, it's James Harden. It's a no-brainer for me. It's a no-brainer for James Harden to be better than him. Now, if you want to say who's more iconic, Allen Iverson's more iconic than James Harden, without a doubt in my mind, especially what he represented to the Philadelphia Sixers, going to the finals, giving the Lakers their only loss. Bro, disgusting. Disgusting. But James Harden is a guy that has proven to not only handle things from a shooting guard perspective, but he's even transitioned now in his career to more of a point guard perspective. He has that ability to do that. That Allen Iverson, I just don't think he has that the way James Harden does. So to me, I will probably ride with James Harden without a doubt in my mind. Without a doubt in my mind. But James Harden gets so criticized for not winning. It's weird for me. This guy played in the Western Conference Finals. Like in his peak, this guy was going up against the Golden State Warriors, bro. He majority of the times he lost was to the Golden State Warriors. So why does he get like? I'm sorry, we ought to be consistent here. Y'all don't kill or criticize LeBron James for losing to the Golden State Warriors. Why are you doing it with James Harden? And if you're gonna give me that nonsense about they lost a record number of threes. They missed a record number of threes in Game 7. Bro, the fact they're going to Game 7 with KD, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Stephen Curry, they've taken that team to Game 7, bro. And mind you, his second co-star got hurt. Why are we using that game to criticize him? To hurt him. And y'all acting like he was the only one missing. We acting like he was the only one breaking. It's weird. It's weird. It's very weird, bro. And it doesn't really make sense to me. It really don't make sense to me. So, yeah, James Harden going to Game 7, like he kept losing to the Golden State Warriors, and no one criticizes LeBron James for the same exact thing. And that's something where in NBA history, like people have to stop doing. Like there's only one winner. There's only one champion every year. Only one. And when these other guys, right, when you have your James Hardens, when you have your Chris Pauls, Karl Malones, John Stockton, right? And I'm just using them as examples right now. Steve Nash. These are great all-time players. No doubt about it. Great all-time players. But you got to understand something, especially when we're under the idea of one champion, right? When you got guys like LeBron playing in your league, when you got guys like Kobe playing in your league, you got guys like MJ playing in your league, bro, let me tell you something. You know how difficult it is to win that over those guys? Those are some of the best players we've seen. Tim Duncan's, Shaq's, like those are like the upper echelon. Like I believe there's tiers. You have like your S tiers, your GOAT tiers, your elite tiers, and then A tiers, you know? When I look at just players in general, there's only one champion. There's only one. And a lot of those times, those champions are on dynasty teams. And they're able to just keep winning because they're that much better than everyone else, right? So why are we criticizing guys like James Harden, Chris Paul, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Steve Nash for not being better and winning over those upper echelon guys? Like we all know, like it's just one winner every year. So them not being able to eclipse them, I think is a disservice to what those guys provide. James Harden specifically. James Harden is one of the, I'm not going to lie, James Harden is one of the best, craziest offensive players we have ever seen. And he doesn't get enough respect for that. Like, he's up there with Curry. He's up there with Jokic. He's up there with LeBron. Like, he's one of the wildest offensive players we have ever seen in this game. When you have a guy who can sit here and drop 35 and at the same time dish out 7 to 8 assists for your team and control the offense for your crew, bro, that's special. When you have a guy that's literally changing how defenders are playing defense by standing behind you, that's how they have to play good defense, by standing behind you, bro. You're a crazy offensive player. You know? And again, like, James Harden's that guy, yo, that step back, bro, when he got 3 people in his face, man, what can you do to that? There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do with a guy like James Harden when he's playing like that, when he's on, bro, he's insane. And he doesn't get talked about much as much as being in the Jokic tier, the Steph tier, the LeBron tier in terms of offense. And I do believe he's probably in that area. If he's not in that area, he's probably like right below it, like right up there. But man, there's one winner, but when all-time great players show you what they're capable of, their heights, it's okay to expect it. Yeah, and I think James Harden, right? And I think that's fair. And I think that's why James Harden gets criticized a lot, Devo, where, you know, James Harden, I mean, you just can't lie. A lot of the times in the playoffs and in the big moments, he has come up short. I think there's a lot that goes into that than just him as a player, though. I kind of scratched on it before with the coaching and everything. I think Mike D'Antoni's like a great coach, revolutionary coach. But when you're having an offense like that with James Harden, and you're just doing that dribble on top of the key, like, you become very predictable as a team. Very predictable. And you're solely relying on the law of averages. And that's what happened in Game 7 versus the Golden State Warriors. You're not changing anything up. You're just solely relying on these are eventually going to come in. They're eventually going to go in. And, you know, that led to their downfall in 2018. And Chris Paul being hurt. And that's why I said when Chris Paul got hurt, Chris Paul is so good in a way because Chris Paul knows he's so special, bro. He knows how to read the game and understand momentum shifts, right? So Chris Paul is a guy where, okay, he'll be able to see that they're about to go on a cold stretch. And then that's when he'll start working more in the mid-range. That's when he'll start getting, you know, even though those wide open threes are easy looks, he'll start working around it to get the offense going, trying to do other things, easier looks at the basket, trying to manipulate the game in any type of way like that to gain momentum. Like, basketball is a game of runs, and it's a game of momentum. And Chris Paul, I think Chris Paul is one of the greatest, like, managers of that. He knows how to manage the game. He knows how to manage tempo and control momentum. He really does. He's really great at that. I got to give him credit for that, right? So CP3 was a great addition to them in 2018 because he balanced it out for them. 2019, he was hurt. So then all the blame got on him. Weird. But 2019, they were hurt, so they got cooked by the Golden State Warriors, even without KD. But in 2018, man, they really needed that in those last few games. You know? So James Harden just doing that dribble stuff. That's why his percentages, you know, go low. Because one, he's a jump shooter. He's a jump shooter, one. So of course, Steph Curry's a victim of this as well. When you're a jump shooter, your percentages definitely go down, and they're not as high as, like, you know, your LeBrons or MJs when they're able to get more looks at the rim, right? So when James Harden's heavy isolation, taking a lot of jump shots, but even that, like, the positioning of the court matters a lot. It's just so easy to game plan on them. So James Harden not showing up, There's more things that goes into that than just him not showing up, you know? And that's just how I look at it. Like, it's a team sport. It's a team sport. Even the shots you generate, a lot of the time, that shot you're coming up with in a game is generated from a whole entire system and a whole entire offense. You know? So it's kind of hard to just put everything on one player because your stats in general is a product of what team you're on as well. It's not just you. It's not solely 100% you. It's also a product of the team. 2019 Rockets lost Trevor. Yes, they did lose Trevor Ariza. Trevor Ariza did play great defensively in that game. That was the biggest loss. The 2018 Rockets were that great. Nah, you're right. This is also underrated in 2019. This is good. I forgot about this actually. Yeah, Trevor Ariza losing Trevor Ariza and them not being as switchable as they were the year before definitely hurt them in the long run as well. CP3 being hurt, Trevor Ariza. Yeah, that's a great point. Great point. But just because he failed in the playoffs, I'm not going to take away from who he is as a player. Like, playoffs are tough. Playoffs are really tough. They're very tough to win. They're very tough. I mean, to play those games after a full season is tough. And this is what I want, like, NBA fans to stop doing. Like, can we stop acting like the regular season don't matter? Like, can we stop acting like the regular season doesn't matter? Like, what they do in the regular season means absolutely nothing? Heck no, bro. What is Shea? Just because Shea didn't win last year, right? We're going to sit here and, if he didn't win last year, we're going to act as if what? Him being an all-NBA defender, being an MVP and a scoring title, we're just going to act like that means nothing? No, bro, that's not right. And they do the same thing to James Harden. What? Just because he didn't win his 35 and what, 8 and 7, that don't mean nothing. His historic runs don't mean anything. His months when he's going crazy don't mean anything. No. Because there's a bunch of players that's not even capable or even not even thinking that they're even capable of doing what he's being able to do. So why are we taking away from that just because he didn't win? Make the regular season matter again, bro. Like, to enjoy the sport. That's a part of enjoying the sport. Enjoying the regular season. Enjoying the regular season, man. People don't enjoy it. Yeah, it shouldn't mean that. It shouldn't degrade that player. Russ averaging triple doubles, I think, is one of the craziest things. Russ doesn't get degraded for averaging those triple doubles and not winning. Actually, he does to an extent. Let me not lie. He does to an extent. But people don't take that away from him. They don't act as if him doing that was nothing. You know? They don't. They're starting to do that with Joel Embiid. Just because he ain't win, bro, the fact this man is leading the league in scoring and play the way he plays, like, they're acting as if it means nothing. And it's sad because I think this is the generation where, yeah, this is the main generation where they're doing that to. When you look in the past, that doesn't really happen with everyone. Dominique Wilkins still gets praise. Don't know how if he never won, but Dominique Wilkins still gets praised. John Stockton still gets praised for what? Having the most assists and steals. But guess what? He ain't win nothing. So you got to sit here and praise that if you value the regular season. So they don't take away what John Stockton has done. They don't take away what Karl Malone has done. Like, all the players pre-2000s, screw it. Like, they still get held, Charles Barkley, they still get held to a very high regard for everything they've done in the regular season. So why is it with these new players coming up? Why is it that the new generation coming up, we're killing all of these guys who's better than those guys back in the 90s and the 80s? We're killing them now more than you guys were killing them back then. That don't make sense. And James Harden is a perfect example of that. AI didn't win anything. AI didn't win nothing. He went to one finals. AI went to one finals. And people think just because he went to one finals, that frigging, he was like, I'm not, oof. But they just act like he's some sort of like, I don't know. Like James Harden is just not on that level at all just because he made to the finals. Come on now. Come on. That don't make sense. But with James Harden, we're just going to kill his entire career just because he kept losing to the Golden State Warriors. AI was barely making it out the first round. If we really want to talk about it and really want to get nasty, he was barely making it out the first round, year in, year out. He was always getting bounced out the first round. No one ever talks about it. But they want to kill James Harden for losing to the Golden State Warriors. Come on. Be consistent. Just be consistent at least. That's all I ask for. Just be consistent. That's just wrong.